Today we will discuss classification of singularities. In the previous lecture we have defined singularity or singular point. So I am recalling again, a point z equal to z naught is called a singular point or singularity of a function fz if the function fz is not defined or not analytic at this point. Okay, so those points are called singularities at which the function is not analytic or not defined. So we have seen many examples of singular points, and we also defined isolated singularity. A singularity is called isolated singularity if there is no other singularity in its neighborhood. Okay, so now suppose we take a function fz which is analytic in some region. Suppose we take a region R, and if it is analytic in some region except at a point, suppose the point is z0. Okay, so we delete this singularity. Okay, this point as z0 is a singularity, it means at this point the function is not analytic or may not be defined. Suppose we delete this point, then we can write the region as mod z minus z0 0 to, suppose the we take the radius of that region is r. We are taking a circle, a small circle of radius r, and we have deleted this point. So this is called deleted neighborhood. Okay, so suppose we have a singular point. So this is called an isolated singular point if there is no other singularity in this region. Okay, so if this is a deleted neighborhood, so we can expand the given function fz in Laurent series. So the function fz can be defined, can be expanded like this: summation n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z0 to the power n plus summation n equal to 1 to infinity dn upon z minus z0 to the power n. So there are two parts. One is positive powers. In one part we have positive powers of z minus z0, and in the other part we have negative powers of z minus z0. So this part in which we have positive powers, this part is called regular part. This part is called regular part, and the other part in which we have negative powers, so this part is called principal part. Now, depends on these two parts, we have three possible conditions. In the first condition, we can say that there may be only regular part, and in the second case we can say that there is a principal part, but the negative powers of in this principal part are finite. And the third case is if the negative part, that is the negative powers of this principal part, or we can say that the number of terms in this negative part is infinite. So depends on these three conditions, we have classified the singularities. So there are three types of singularities. The first singularity is called removable singularity. The second singularity is called pole, and the third singularity is called essential singularity. Okay, so now we will see the definitions of these three types of singularities. So these are known as types of singularities. So the first singularity is removable singularity. Or removable singular point. Okay, so a point z equal to z0 is called removable singular point. A point z equal to z0 is called removable singular point or singularity if limit z tends to z naught fz exists. If limit z tends to, that is the limit of the function, given function fz at z tends to z naught exists, then this point z naught is called removable singular point. Okay. So in this case we can say that this case will happen, this removable singularity will happen only in that case in which in the Lorentz series expansion there is no principal part. Okay, that means there is only regular part, there is only positive powers of that. Okay, so now we will see one example that how can we say that this is removable singularity. Okay, so we will take an example. So let us take a function fz is equal to sin z upon z. Okay, so here we can see that because in the denominator we have z, so we can say that this function is not defined at z equal to 0. It means z equal to 0 is a singular point of this function. So here z equal to 0 is a singular point of fz. Okay, now we will see that if we find the limit of this function at z tends to 0. Okay, so if we find limit z tends to 0 fz, so this will be equal to limit z tends to 0 sin z upon z, and we know that limit z tends to 0 sin z upon z will be equal to 1. Okay, so it means here we see that the limit of this function when we take z tends to 0 exists. Okay, it means the given this point z equal to 0 is a singular point, but it is a removable singular point. Okay, this is a removable singularity. So removable singularity is when the limit of the function at the given point exists. Okay, so here z equal to 0 is removable singularity. So z equal to 0 is removable singularity. Okay, so those points are removable singular points at which the function is not defined or not analytic, but when we take the limit at that point, the limit exists. So in that case, the singularity is called removable singularity. In the second case, we have second type of singularity, and which is known as pole. So a point z equal to z naught is called a pole if the principal part, this part of fz contains finite number of terms. Okay, so if this principal part contains only a finite number of terms, then this or we can write a finite number of terms as this, that if we have fz is equal to, suppose we have some regular part, summation n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z naught to the power n, plus suppose we have here we have finite number of terms, that is we can write, if we put n equal to 1, so we can write b1 upon z minus z naught plus b2 upon z minus z naught square plus and so on, and suppose we have up to bm upon z minus z naught to the power m. That is, there are finite number of terms, it is not up to infinite. Okay, so if we have finite number of terms in the principal part, then this z equal to z naught is called pole. Then z equal to z naught is called pole of order m That is, this power is the order of the pole. Okay. So suppose we have m equal to 1. So if we take m is equal to 1, that is, there is only one term in the principal part, only v1 upon z minus z0. So in this case, the pole is called of order 1 or simple pole. So if m equal to 1, then pole is of order 1 or simple pole. And similarly, if m equal to 2, that is, there are only two terms, then the pole is of order 2 or double pole. And similarly, if m equal to 3, then the pole is of order 3, and so on. And if we have m terms, then we say that the pole is of order m. Okay. So how we will find? So we have a criteria to define the pole of order m, that we find a limit. We can say that if limit z tends to z0, fz tends to infinity or does not exist. Suppose if we take the limit z tends to z0, fz, then it does not exist. And if limit z tends to z0, sum z minus z0 to the power m into fz. Z minus z0 to the power m into fz exists. Okay, so if this limit exists, fz into z minus z0 to the power m and limit z tends to z. So if this limit exists, then this z equal to z0 is called pole of order m, this power. Okay, so then z equal to z0 is called pole of order m. Okay, so we can take an example now, that suppose we take a function like this, fz is equal to 1 upon z minus 3 की power 5 plus 2 upon z minus 2 की power 3. Okay, so if we take a function like this, so here we can see that first that z equal to 3 is a singular point, because at z equal to 3 the function will not be defined. If we put z equal to 3, so z equal to 3 is a singular point, z equal to 2 is a singular point. So these two are singular points here. Now we want to find that whether this is pole, and if this is pole, then what is the order. Okay, so here we can see that if we take the limit z tends to 3, it will not define. If we take the limit z tends to 3 fz, then it will not define. When we put here 3 minus 3 is 0 and 1 upon 0, so this will not be defined. Similarly, if we take limit z tends to 2, then again the function will not define. Okay, and but if we take, so in this limit does not exist, but if we take this limit z tends to 3, z minus 3 to the power 5 fz. Okay, so if we multiply this whole function by z minus 3 to the power 5 fz, and then if we take the limit, so in that case you can see that if we multiply here by z minus 3 to the power 5, so it will be only 1, and here we will get some function, numerator and denominator. But then if we put limit z tends to 3, so we will have some finite value. Okay, this is 1 plus something, so we will have some finite value. So this limit exists. Okay, so this limit exists. It means here z equal to 3 is a pole of order 5. So here z equal to 3 is a pole of order 5, because we are multiplying by z minus 3 to the power 5. So here z equal to 3 is a pole of order 5. Similarly, we can say that z equal to 2 is a pole of order 3. Okay, so z equal to 3 is a pole of order 5 and z equal to 2 is a pole of order 3. Okay, so these are the two types of pole here. Next we have third type of singularity, which is called essential singularity. Okay, so we will see here that the singularity a singularity is called essential singularity if there are infinite number of terms in the principal part. If there are finite number of terms, then it is called, the singularity is called pole, and if there are infinite number of terms, then the singularity is called essential singularity. If the principal part contains infinite number of terms, okay, so in this case the singular point is called essential singular point. Again we can see an example that if we take the function fz is equal to e raised to the power 1 upon z. Here we can see that if we put z equal to 0 here, so 1 upon 0 is infinity and e raised to power infinity will again not defined. It means here z equal to 0 is a singularity, singular point. Z equal to 0 is a singular point. Now we want to find the type of the singular point, type of the singularity. So we can also find the type of singularity by just expanding the function. Here we can expand this function fz is equal to, which is e raised power 1 upon z. So we can expand this function by using the expansion of e raised to power z. So this will be 1 plus 1 upon z plus 1 upon 2 factorial and 1 upon z whole square, that is 1 upon z square, plus 1 upon 3 factorial, 1 upon z cube. So that is 1 upon z cube, and plus here next term will be 1 upon 4 factorial, 1 upon z to the power 4, and so on up to infinite number of terms. So in this expansion we can see that this 1 is the regular part, and here this is the principal part, and in this principal part we can see that here we have z equal to 0 is a singular point, and since there are infinite number of terms, hence z equal to 0 is essential singularity. So here z equal to 0 is essential singularity. Okay, so these are the three types of singularities, that if there is no principal part, the principal part is 0, then the singularity is called removable singularity. If the principal part contains finite number of terms, then the singularity is called pole, and if the principal part contains infinite number of terms, then the singularity is called essential singularity. So now we come to this example. Here we have taken this function fz is equal to e raised to power z minus 1 upon z minus 1, z minus I square. So here we want to find the singularities and their types. Okay, so here we can see that the numerator e raised to power z minus 1, this is analytic because e raised to power z is always analytic. So okay, so numerator is analytic. So in the denominator we can see that here we have, if we put z equal to 0, or if we put z equal to 1, or if we put z equal to I, then at these points the function fz will not be analytic. Okay, so z equal to 0, z equal to 1 and z equal to I are singular points. These are the three singular points here. These are the three singularities here, 0, 1 and I. Now we want to find their types and their orders. Okay. So first of all, we will talk about z equal to 0. So first, if we find the limit of this function fz at z tends to 0. So this is the function, limit z tends to 0, this e raised to power z minus 1 upon z minus 1 z minus I square. Okay, so we can write this function as limit z tends to 0 e raised to power z minus 1 upon z and 1 upon z minus 1 z minus I square. So if we put the limit now, so if we put the limit z tends to 0 here, this will be 0 minus 1, that is minus 1, 0 minus I square. So these are finite. We can put z equal to 0 here, and the value of this limit z tends to equal z minus 1 upon z will be 1. Okay, we can find by using the methods of limits. We can use the expansion of e raised to power z, 1 will be cancelled, and then after solving z will be cancelled, and we will get this value as 1. Okay, so the value of this part is 1, and this is 1 upon minus 1 into minus I square. So this is equal to minus square is plus and I square is minus 1, that is minus minus plus. So we are getting here 1. Here we see that the limit of this function fz at z tends to 0 is 1. That is, it is finite, it exists. It means when the limit exists at z tends to 0, it means the given singular point, this singular point is removable singular point. Okay, so here z equal to 0 is removable singular point. Okay, next we come to z equal to 1. So here again we see that, can we find this limit of fz at z tends to 1? So when we put the value of fz e raised to power z minus 1 upon z minus 1 z minus I square. So when we put the limit z tends to 1, so the numerator is defined. Here we can put z equal to 1, but here we cannot put z equal to 1, because when we put here z equal to 1, this will be an undefined function, or the limit is not defined, or we can say that the value of the limit is not finite. It means this limit does not exist. Okay, so this limit does not exist. But if we find this limit of this function with z minus 1 into fz at z tends to 1, that is, first we multiply this function fz by z minus 1, and after that if we find the limit, then here you can see that if we multiply here by z minus 1, so this z minus 1 will be cancelled, and in the remaining terms we can put z equal to 1. It means if we find the limit of this function, then it exists. Okay, so this limit exists. So in this case, if the limit exists, we can say that this point z equal to 1 is a pole. Okay, also we are multiplying by z minus 1 to the power 1. Okay, so the power is this, z minus 1 is 1, so it means this is pole of order 1. Okay, so z equal to 1 is a pole of order 1. And similarly we can find for z equal to I. Again we can see that if we find the limit of this function at z tends to I, so this limit does not exist because of this factor z minus I square. When we put limit z tends to I, so this limit does not exist. It means this limit z tends to I fz does not exist. Okay, because if you take the limit as z tends to I, so here we have this factor. If we put z equal to I here, so this function is not defined, hence the limit does not exist. But again, if we find the limit z tends to I, z minus I square Lz. Okay, so if you multiply first by z minus I square here and then take limit, so z minus I square term will be cancelled, and in the remaining we can put z equal to I. Okay, so it means if we find this limit, then it is finite, that is, it exists. This limit exists. Even you cannot take here z minus I raised to power 1, because if you multiply by z minus I raised to power 1, so only one power will be cancelled, but still there will be one power of z minus I remaining. It means we can again not take limit as z tends to I, because in that case again the function will not be defined. Okay, so it means we have to multiply by z minus I square. Only if we multiply by z minus I square, only in that case this limit exists. So again in this case z equal to I is a pole of order 2. So z equal to I is a pole of order 2. Okay, so in this function there are three types of singular points. One is z equal to 0, z equal to 0 is removable singular point, z equal to 1 is pole of order 1, and z equal to I is pole of order 2. Now we have next example in which the function is fz is equal to z square cos 1 upon z. So we want to find the type of singular point here, or type of singularity. So again here we will use the method that we can take the expansion of cos 1 upon z. We know that the expansion of cos z is 1 plus z square by 2 factorial plus z raised to power 4 by 4 factorial and so on. Okay, so now if we take cos 1 upon z here, cos 1 upon z, so this will be 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial into 1 upon z square plus 1 upon 4 factorial into 1 upon z raised to power 4, and we can write more terms, 1 upon 6 factorial into 1 upon z raised to power 6 plus 1 upon 8 factorial into 1 upon z raised to power 8 and so on. Now we multiply this by z square. So z square cos 1 upon z, which is our fz. So this will be equal to here, when we multiply by z square, so this will be z square plus 1 upon 2 factorial, this will be 1 plus 1 upon 4 factorial into, this will be 1 upon z square plus 1 upon 6 factorial into 1 upon z raised to power 4, because we are multiplying by z square, and plus 1 upon 8 factorial into 1 upon z raised to power 6 and so on up to infinite number of terms. So here we can see that in this expansion of fz, we have this z equal to 0. We have this z square, which is a regular part. The power is positive, and this is also regular part, and these all are negative powers of z. Negative powers of z. That is, this is 1 upon z square, that is z to the power minus 2, z to the power minus 4 and so on. And we can see that we have infinite number of negative powers of z. And also the singularity is z equal to 0. Here we can see that z equal to 0 is the singularity. So z equal to 0 is the singularity, and since we have infinite number of negative power, so z equal to 0 will be essential singularity. So z equal to 0 is essential singularity. Okay.